going on YouTube? So, as you can see the title of the video, this is going to be about how you as an online business can get access to a distributor. I know there's a lot of information out there from people saying that they're not taking online retailers, and this is mostly true. Most of them are not taking online retailer accounts at this time. That does not mean that they're all following that, and it doesn't mean that you as an online business can't get distribution. This is also going to apply for maybe you have a small brick and mortar. There's some goodies in here for you that will help you be successful, but this is mainly going to be for those that are in an online only space that want to get into the Pokemon business, TCG business, collectibles, whatever it may be that you're interested in, and how you can get a distribution account. Now, the important thing here is to remember this is a huge space, right? Trying to get customers, it's not that terribly difficult. If you are selling a product that people want at a price that people are willing to pay and providing that service to them, they will come. What is difficult is trying to get a distributor in order to get that product, right? Now, can you get an account right now in 2026 as an online retailer? Yes. I did it in about 6 months. I started in May and I got it in November. Okay, so let's talk about what they're looking for, what getting access to distribution means, and how that's going to fundamentally change your business, or at least it should. Now, I want to clarify that getting a distributor, and I'm sure many of you that are going to be watching this are specifically in the Pokemon space. Getting a distribution does not mean you're going to get Pokemon, right? It doesn't mean you're going to get, maybe just a little bit. You're going to get zero, and it's going to be zero for a while. Um, but that's not necessarily all surprising right now, and it's not something that I don't want to say that it's not bad, but there's a reason why they're doing this, and that reason is something that will help strengthen your business, okay? Distribution is access to a supplier network. Pokemon allocation is just one layer of that network, okay? So it's normal for you to come in and get zero allocation. They're not trying to block you, they're not trying to stop your business from growing, but they're trying to identify a stable business that will be there. Right? Not just 5 weeks from now, not just 5 months from now, but they want to see, are you building something that will be here 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? It doesn't do them any good to support an account that's going to just disappear within the next month or two, right? If there's a downturn in the market, boom, you're out. That doesn't do them any good. So that's what they want. If Pokemon is the only thing your business can survive on, your business is not stable. It's dependent. And that is a problem because now you are at the mercy of supply, allocation, the popularity of any given set, right? If Pokemon slows down for you, your margins disappear. Your sourcing is probably going to disappear. Your business does not have a solid foundation. So this isn't to say that somebody that is in that space can't be successful, but this is more of if you are starting in 2026 and that is your only focus. In my opinion, your business is not going to be very stable. You are at the whims of all these other external factors. And that's why distribution wants diversification, okay? Because distribution wants your business to be diversified. It creates stability. Stability will create and lead to longevity. Now, if you are starting this business in 2026, you got to focus on building a retail business first. When I first started, I was building a Pokemon business. I knew where I wanted to get to, but I started as a Pokemon focused business, okay? And I knew that was not going to get me distribution. But that's how I started. That's how I'm sure many of you watching this video are going to be starting, right? Step one. That's how you start, okay? From there, you need to focus on building a retail business. Okay, they're not evaluating whether or not you like Pokemon. They're not evaluating whether you can sell Pokemon. Pokemon sells itself. It doesn't really need a whole lot of help doing that. Okay, they want to evaluate, are you running a real retail operation? That's how you need to start thinking about expanding beyond Pokemon, right? That's how I did. Now, in order to begin that process, First, I had to start generating some sales numbers, right? So if you're starting a Pokemon business, get some sales numbers going. Show that at the very basic level, you can get goods, get customers, sell your goods, right? Business 101. Once you can start doing that, the next step, at least what I did, is I went to this place called Faire Marketplace. It is essentially a collection of suppliers. You don't apply with a supplier independently. You go to Faire Marketplace. You need to have all your business documents. You provide that to them. Whether you're sole proprietorship, LLC, have your reseller's license, have all that stuff ready to go. You supply that to Faire Marketplace, and then as long as you have all that stuff ready, I'm assuming you will be good to go, right? Unless there's something catastrophically wrong with your paperwork, you will get approved. Once you get in, now you have access to a wide variety of different people that are doing wholesale. Not just, and this is not just for a collectible space, this is all kinds of stuff. They have all kinds of stuff here, right? Now, specifically for what we're looking for, you're coming in, you're not going to find cards, right? So let me just dispel that right off the bat. You are not going to find TCG cards on Fair Marketplace. But that's okay because that's not what we're using this for. You're going to find lots of other auxiliary products. You're going to find the accessories, some binders, and some sleeves. You're not going to find maybe, the big brand names, all that kind of thing. You may not have exactly the best bottom deal pricing, but it's going to be close. And you're going to have access to a wide variety of items that you wouldn't have otherwise, right? A lot of custom items that you're going to find there. You're going to find some keychains and plushies and other things like that. But that's all still Pokemon. What I did, and what I would suggest to any of you, is build out another category. For me, I've always had interest in Dungeons and Dragons. So I began looking and I picked up a lot of products to begin building out a Dungeons and Dragons pillar of my business. I used suppliers in Faire in order to do that. Right? Wholesale pricing from suppliers on Faire. Built out this new category. Did that for a little bit, right? Generated some sales. From there, it was about 6 months I had been doing that, right? At this point, I had some sales numbers. I had a secondary category outside of Pokemon product, that I could move, advertising. I now had a stable retail business, right? It wasn't a Pokemon only, but it was operating like a stable retail business. That's when I went and I started applying for some official distributors. When you go and apply with them, there is a small process, the application that you're going to have to fill out. One of the questions on there is, do you have existing distribution relationships? Now, I know this kind of seems a little weird. It's like you have to have experience before getting the entry level job. I don't know. I can't say for sure that it's a requirement before they approve you, but having a relationship definitely helps. And you can say yes. You can say, I have a relationship with the Faire Marketplace and these distributors that I've been buying from, right? Because they're going to look at that. They're going to see, and they may contact them, they may not, but they may take a look at it and say, okay, we're going to go and background check. Who have they been buying from? Have their payments been stable? Have they been a problem? Complaining about, damaged product? They're going to talk to these people, maybe, and see what you've been about and how you conduct business with them. This is where the Faire Marketplace can help build your credibility. So the same rules that would apply for when you have distribution, I would say apply to anyone that you're dealing business with on Faire, right? Again, you're not dealing with individuals, you're dealing with companies, right? So make sure that you're paying invoices on time. If you're buying $500 worth of stuff, let's say $500 worth of stuff, and one item comes in and it's a little scratched up, I'm not going to say that you shouldn't bring it up with them, but I'm also not going to recommend that it's a good idea to nitpick all these little things, right? You don't want to be an account that's going to be a problem, because if the distributor that you're applying for happens to contact that one. They say, yeah, we sent a bunch of binders, whatever it is, that they had a issue with one of them. We had to go through some paperwork and fix this one little thing. They may be thinking to themselves, ooh, okay, so they're going to be kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. Don't know if we want to be dealing with that. So keep that in mind. Again, not telling you that you can't bring up issues when you have them, but just keep in mind that Faire is your access point to building out another category and building credibility when you apply for one of those other larger distributors. When you go to them at this point, have more sales history than you did when you initially went to Faire, right? Show them that you are now stable in what it is you're doing, your business operations. It's not just some kind of fly by night thing, and that gives you a much better chance of being accepted. Now, once you get approved, right? At this point, we're assuming you're going to get approved because you've followed all these steps. You've built something solid. They can see that. It's very obvious. One important thing I do want to mention is a lot of them, if you are, for the ones that are accepting online only accounts, one of the caveats to that, and I should have put that at the beginning of the video, is they want to see that you have your own first party sales platform, right? For a lot of them, you could be online, they can accept online, but if you are selling primarily through an eBay store or Amazon, they're probably not going to accept that right now. So have your own first party site, and that's where you're going to be selling from. So that way you own your brand, you control your fulfillment. That's what they want to see. It's your business, not dependent on a third party platform. Now, once you get approved, right, we're assuming you've done all these things, you've gotten approved. You say, great, I have a distributor, but I have no Pokemon allocation. So what good was it? The answer to that is it's very good because you now have access to the pipeline, right? You don't have access to the stuff you want right now. Probably won't have it for a while, but your first foot is now in that door. Now, the restrictions that distribution has on you, you should use that to make your business a lot more robust, right? So now you can get access to, all the products that you couldn't get from Faire. Now you can really get a variety of the accessories to go with your TCG business, right? We're talking the card sleeves and the binders and top loaders and Dragon Shield, Ultra Pro, things like that, right? That is directly connected to the business in which you are conducting trading cards. That's what distribution wants to see, right? They want to see, are you moving these other categories? Anybody can come in and say, distribution, I want some trading cards because I want to sell, that's my business. For the most part, again, especially with Pokemon, One Piece right now is hot as well. They will sell themselves. Distribution doesn't need help selling those items. So if that's the only ability that your business has to move, you're not really valuable to them. Okay? So, for example, once I got access distribution, I have two of them. And with one of them, I buy, that's where I get, my Funkles and my collectible items. Okay? And then I built that category out from them. For my second distributor, they're the ones that have a lot of the TCG products. So that's where I have all of my TCG accessories coming from. And now, a recent expansion, as of this week when this video is coming out, I'm now expanding into Gundam model kits, right? Again, it's another pillar to sell. It is stable. I have access to product from that. And all these things will help me not just increase my relationship with that distributor, be able to have more cadence buying with them, having larger order values, but I'm buying in these different categories, these different SKUs outside of trading cards. These are signals to your distributor that you are growing. You are expanding other categories outside of TCG. It signals to them you are building a real retail operation, right? So I didn't receive Pokemon allocation from them when I opened my account, and I didn't expect to, right? The goal here is access to the infrastructure, not necessarily immediate Pokemon access. That's what you should view distribution as right now for your business. Their restrictions will help make your business a lot more stable. Once you operate like that for a while, right? Even if Pokemon has a downturn, with their set right now, Perfect Order is not looking to be, one of the hottest sets that we've had in a while, right? You will be more protected and insulated from some of these market conditions in this franchise or that franchise or this set or that set, um, because you've built out something outside in different categories that may be more stable, right? If Perfect Order comes out and it's not really taking, well, my revenue stream could be a little more insulated because I have collectibles, I have Gundam, right? Dungeons and Dragons. This helps insulate your business and will keep you going long term. This will help keeping you buying from your distributor. This will signal to them you are an account that will be here a year or two from now. You are an account worth supporting. And as long as you continue to not be a problem and you're ordering these categories, eventually you will get access to what it is you're looking for, right? So, to kind of sum it up, right? Distribution doesn't create a strong business. A strong business earns distribution. So, can you, as an online only business, get distribution? Caveat being, you're not an eBay or Amazon only seller. Yes, you can get distribution as an online only business. Does it mean you're going to get Pokemon? No, right? 99.9999999% chance you will not get any Pokemon allocation for a good long while. And that's okay. Use the restrictions from distribution to build out your business, to become stable, to grow in other categories. That way, you will eventually earn that allocation, and your business is that much stronger even before that happens. So, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. And if you guys are already in the business and you have distribution, feel free to share kind of the steps that you took, the journey that you took with your business, and how that's worked out for you. I'll see you guys next time. Buy my stuff. Go to epiclootcollectibles.com, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.